Thank you so much. Thank you very much, our dear speaker, Honorable Attorney Miko Clavano, for the insightful and very interesting talk about illegal practice in real estate. To continue, please remain as we call on our other panelists who shall be joining you for our discussion. To our audience who have questions for our esteemed guest speaker and panelists, please reserve those questions for later sa question and answer portion of the panel discussion. May I call again on stage our TF-ACAD Chairman, Joel Jalimao, to introduce our moderator and additional panelists for this afternoon's session.
Welcome to our panel discussion on combating colorum activities in real estate. Today, we gather experts from various fields to explore the critical issues surrounding unregistered and illegal real estate transactions. Join us as we explore strategies and solutions to safeguard the integrity of the real estate industry. First is Attorney Clavano, since Attorney was already introduced. We'll proceed with our second panelist. This is in alphabetical order. He is a senior partner of Moswela Buwan and Associates Law Offices with office in Angeles City. He was admitted to the practice of law in 1996. Prior to his private law practice, he was employed as branch clerk of court of the Regional Trial Court, Angeles City, and Public Attorney 2 of the Department of Justice. He has also completed postgraduate courses on Master of Business Management and Master of Laws. Formerly, he was the president of Angeles City Lawyers League in 2011 and of Parab City of San Fernando, Pampanga Real Estate Board 2011 and 2019. At present, he is the president of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Pampanga Chapter, and board secretary of Metro Angeles Chamber of Commerce. Also, he is an accredited voluntary and maritime arbitrator of the National Conciliation Mediation Board of the Department of Justice, of the Department of Labor, and Employment, trained commercial arbitrator, accredited court annex mediator of the Supreme Court, and Office for Alternative Dispute Resolution, Department of Justice. A licensed real estate broker, Parab Lifetime Paid member, and chairman of our Parab North Luzon Task Force Anti-Colorum, presenting Attorney Alejandro Buwan. Thank you, Attorney. Our next panelist is a distinguished lawyer and accomplished real estate broker. Hailing from the vibrant town of Pamplona, Cagayan, his educational journey spans both public and private institutions, where he excelled as salutatorian in elementary and a valedictorian in high school. With academic excellence as his hallmark, he graduated magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from MLQ University, followed by a cum laude LLB from Ateneo de Manila University. In 1986, he achieved a remarkable 14th place in the challenging bar examinations, earning recognitions in the Supreme Court's top 20 list. His commitment to excellence extended beyond law, as he secured the 4th position in the real estate brokers examination in 2012. Over the years, Attorney Porong has contributed his legal expertise to various sectors, including teaching law, serving as an NBI agent, and occupying leadership roles in renowned corporations. As a member of the board of directors for esteemed organizations such as Valle Verde Country Club, dito po yun, and the Manila Board of Realtors, he continues to make a significant impact in his field. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Attorney Ray Nathaniel Ipurong. Completing the team of our panelists, he is a PRC licensed real estate broker, real estate appraiser, environmental planner, and PRC accredited lecturer. A faculty of BS Real Estate Management and serving as the Philippine Real Estate Service National Vice President for Chapter Formation and Development Affairs. A paralegal and real estate taxation consultant at Philippine National Construction Corporation. An AMLA and IPO advocate. Colleagues, let us welcome Broker Rem Ramirez. Ayaw niya pong magpatawag ng ENP. Broker lang daw po. Our panel discussion will be more exciting and meaningful with this great moderator. He is highly accomplished real estate professional with a BS in Industrial Engineering from UP Diliman. During his time at the university, he served as the chairman of the Circle of Industrial Engineering Majors, beginning his career with the Philestate Group of Companies in 1995, gaining valuable insights into the real estate industry. Throughout his career, Mr. Tupas has held various vital positions at renowned companies such as Abida Land, Ayala Land, and Lee Gardens. He has also held significant national officer roles in PAREB, in Parks, or the Philippine Association of Real Estate Consultants Specialists, and NREA, or the National Real Estate Association. Known as Mr. Pinoy Broker, he has been mentioned in Time Asia magazine. He was featured as a resource speaker on rent-to-own homes in ANC and graced the cover of Metro magazine. With licenses as a real estate broker, appraiser, consultant, and a PRC accredited lecturer, Mr. Tupas' expertise is recognized by the Professional Regulation Commission. He recently ended his tour of real estate duty as the Director of Knowledge Management and Information Systems Service at DSUD, or the Department of Human and Settlement and Urban Development, for almost 2 years. So friends, help me welcome Mr. Pinoy Broker himself, Consultant Jovi Tupas. Take it away, sir.
Yan. Okay, so thank you very much. And then pleasant good morning to our PAREB and dun sa mga nasa Zoom. So pleasant good morning to all. So before I begin, I would like to also commend ang ating guest speaker, si ASEC Miko, for his very enlightening speech and revelations. So just imagine, DOJ is already has an ad hoc committee, so to speak, for real estate transactions, and then hopefully after their talk with ni SOJ kanina, baka lang magkaroon ng office under the Department of Justice on real estate transactions. Alam na natin kung ano mangyayari niyan. Si ASEC Miko ang mag-head niyan, and then yung ating mga panelists, sila na ang kukuning director, So, kompleto na yung team, sir. Ayan na, sir, yung team natin, So, good news sa ating real estate industry, So, again, thank you very much to PAREB for this honor of being the moderator for today's session. For those of you, again, in Zoom, kindly just post your questions via the chat box, and hopefully we begin sa atin mamaya yung list of questions. And for those of you sitting here live and in session face-to-face, we will be having a short question and answer where you can ask your questions if time permits. Ano? So to start off the questioning. So diretso na po tayo sa questions. Ano? So ito question lang din to. Aside from RESA and PD 957, so question addressed to our panelists, are there any existing regulations in place to combat colorum activities and how effective are they? What more regulatory items or regulatory rules can we implement or suggest to make the efforts of the anti-colorum task force more effective? So can anyone answer? Maybe we can start with broker Rem Ramirez. Yan. Since siya yung nasa pinakamalapit sa akin.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Sir Joby, palakpakan po natin mga kaibigan. Masyadong mabigat yung tanong. Akala ko abogadong tatawagin natin. So the question is about if there is any existing, aside from RESA and PD 957, existing real estate laws that deals with colorum. We have to understand that the definition of colorum in this discussion is all about illegal practice of real estate. And for that matter, in my opinion, there is no other laws outside RESA that talks about illegal practice of real estate service. PD 957 is very helpful as far as protects scrupulous developers. Remember, under RA 9646, under RESA, dalawa yung violation na binabantayan ng RESA. Isang unscrupulous, ang ibig sabihin ng unscrupulous, ang nagpa-practice po nito, puro lisensyado. Example, nag-usap yung dalawang broker, 50-50 ang partihan 6 months ago. After 6 months, yung isang lisensyadong broker ayaw na magbigay ng 50-50 for whatever reason. So that is part and parcel of unscrupulous practice. The other violation being monitored by RESA is the illegal practice of real estate service. So in my opinion, there is no law legislated that talks about practice of real estate service except RA 9646. Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Broker Rem. Ano? So maybe we can ask for lawyer kasi mga nandito interpellation tama. Can we ask maybe si Attorney Lex for maybe added insights on maybe ano pa ba yung mga pwede nating magawa or suggestions, since si Attorney Lex is into nakapag-file na siya ng mga cases against colorum, so to speak, or yung mga persons doing activities that are supposed to be for licensed real estate brokers and accredited salespersons. Yes, sir.
Good morning po. Based po sa aming personal experience, no, aside from RESA and yung RESA natin, yung pending case namin, sinamahan ko po ito ng violation sa revised penal code. Specifically, kung gusto niyo malaman yung exact provision, it's Article 315 paragraph 2. It's estafa, no? Yung ang sabi ito, by means of any of the following false pretenses or fraudulent acts, no? Yung kasama dito yung colorum, nagpapanggap na real estate broker. So yon, no? Meron kaming present case ngayon, naka-file siya. And sometimes pag makita yung mga evidence, no, yung mga documents, may possibility din na no? Kasi yung may mga ibang taong nagpa-practice din ng pagiging doktor, no? So pag dinoktor yung document, pwede siyang falsification. So more or less, no, yan mga. Tapos, at least yun, no, at least two. I can cite two example po ng pwedeng i-file doon, no, under the revised penal code, no. These are criminal cases pa rin. Tapos may follow-up question pa po? Okay.
Sir, wala na, sir.
Okay na po. Okay. So, salamat po.
Thank you very much, Attorney Lex. Maybe we can ask also comments from Attorney Ray regarding the mga existing activities, regulations, activities, and maybe suggestions on or proposals on what else we can do as practitioners.
Hello, good morning to my fellow brokers. Yung law office ko actually, I call it Ifurong Law Offices for Brighter Solutions. So kami, when you come to us, we always offer you the brighter solution. And in case of real estate practice violations, I can see a lot, no? Like yung violation ng RESA law, estafa, maybe kung government official siya, impersonation, or usurpation of authority, and basically hanggang doon lang it will boil down to fraud, no, pretending to be a real estate broker, and it all depends on the enthusiasm of the complainant kung hanggang saan siya magpa-file. So kami naman, we always encourage complainants to pursue their complaints to the end. Kasi mahirap yung mananakot ka lang, then it could backfire against you. So I hope that we'll be serious in prosecuting these false or fake real estate brokers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Ray. So the next question will be for ASEC Miko. So ASEC Miko, you mentioned in your speech a few minutes ago regarding the coordination between the Anti-Money Laundering Council and the DOJ. So maybe we're giving you this opportunity to maybe expound it further yung mga mangyayari sa mga susunod na kabanata. Yeah.
So yung Anti-Money Laundering Council kasi, may tinatawag na covered persons yan, di ba? So yung mga covered persons, traditionally, yun yung mga bangko, insurance companies, ngayon may mga casino. And recently, nadagdag doon yung mga real estate brokers. So the reason why nadagdag yung real estate brokers doon is because there is that added requirement now to report any transaction in cash over 7.5 million. Yung wisdom po ng pagsakop ng real estate brokers doon is we've seen a trend, no, na usually properties, dahil hindi naman yan nagde-decline or na bumababa yung value niyan, it's used by mga criminals or those who are attempting to clean their money na ilagay doon sa sa real estate na industry, no. So dinagdag yon. But it really only limits itself dun sa cash transactions. Kung bank financing naman, hindi naman po ata kailangan na mag-report, no. And in this case, nag-coordinate ako sa AMLAC dahil of course I was preparing for this event. And they mentioned to me na it's become very vulnerable, especially dun sa mga unlicensed. So in our hope and during this summit, in this event, dahil ang pinapag-usapan natin ngayon ay colorum, yung mga unlicensed brokers, doon na tuloy lumalapit ang mga unscrupulous and yung mga criminals, yung mga naglilinis ng pera, which is why it's much more important for us to crack down doon sa mga unlicensed. Dahil marami na pong regulations ang in place para sa mga licensed brokers. So, malamang sa hindi, yung mga criminals, yung mga gusto maglinis ng pera, pupunta ngayon yan sa mga unlicensed brokers dahil mas malaki ang appetite nila dun sa mga ganung bagay, no? And yung this violation of RA 9646 will also be under the ambit now of Anti-Money Laundering Act. And so kung meron tayong nakitang violation, subject na po yung pera ng gusto maglinis ng pera, yung mga kriminal, sa either civil forfeiture or freeze order, which is something or a power that the Anti-Money Laundering Council has, no? So yun po yung, actually I'm here right now also to hear your insights. We have our esteemed panel here also. Gusto ko rin siguro mag-discuss or mag-TWG para sa mga suggestions on how we can crack down on these unlicensed brokers. So the coordination will revolve around that discussion. No? There are regulations in place, but really, yung mga unlicensed brokers po yung magiging problema ho natin in the future in terms of money laundering as well. So yun po.
Ay, okay. So again, thank you very much to ASEC Miko. So kita mo na si ASEC Miko, action agad, parang si SOJ, action ka agad, So talagang gumagawa na ng mga ad hoc committee, TWG. Hopefully by the end of this one, baka may TWG in place na kaagad, So diretso na para pag-start ng office for real estate transactions. So yan. So we'd just like to know siguro from Attorney Lex, Attorney Lex, what is the proper and legal way of filing cases since nakapag-file na si Attorney Lex? Ano ba yung pinakamas madali? For example, for brokers na kailangan pa ba ng lawyer? Pwede ba sa PAO? Pwede ba mag-citizen sa arrest? Ano ba sarang pwedeng magawa ng simple broker to file cases and make sure that something happens?
Maganda po mag-share kami ng legal experience, no. Pero minsan nakakatakot din po kasi mag-share. Just for your information lang po, sa mga 2 cases na na-assist ko personally, alam niyo po ba na nakakalungkot man, yung mga kolorum, mayroon tayong mga kasamahan, no? I hope hindi sila PAREB member na tumutulong. Nagiging depensa. Kaya kuminsan, it's dangerous din to learn and to know, no? Nagagamit pang kontra. Anyway, mabilis kung kaya natin yung entrapment, no? Kasi just like I was mentioned a while ago, sa amin sa IBP Pampanga chapter, nakapag-entrap kami ng colorum, yung mga fake notaries public. So ka-entrap, file ka agad. Pag hindi po kaya yan, you can file yung direct filing like sa ginawa namin. Nag-file kami ng complaint, no, sa Office of the City Public Prosecution. Ang advice ko lang po sa ating mga fellow practitioner, better po kayong magpa-assist sa isang lawyer, broker, or real estate practitioner. Ano pa? Siguro yung nakikita nyo sa harapan nyo, parang ganun lang simple qualification siguro, no? Hindi, joke lang. Kasi pag nag-file kayo dyan sa complaint, no? Pag wala, no? Kasi ayan, may makasama kong lawyers dito. Sa prosecution, alam niyo kung may probable cause, no? Pero siyempre, pag nag-file kami as a lawyer, hindi lang doon, ang mindset namin sa court. So, binatawag na elements of the crime offenses. So please, kung magpa-file kayo, seek na, no? Of course, a lawyer at the same time may background, no? Kung hindi man real estate broker, may background sa real estate, no? Kasi kahit na sa mga lawyers, hindi rin pa ganun, no? Noon yung RA 9646. In fact, one of my cases na inassist namin before the RESA, no? Then sa DTI pa, we assisted the member brokers sa Pampanga to file a case against sa colorum, no? Before RESA ito. And yung colorum, inassist ng isang lawyer, no? Yung problema, nung nakita ko yung No, kasi position paper to. Nung nakita ko yung depensa nila nung lawyer nung kabila, sabi ko dun sa member broker namin, isabip na for decision, no? Kasi yung answer nung kabila, parang may mga admission in favor dun sa member broker namin sa Pampanga. Oh, true enough, nagka-decision ng DTI, kasi DTI, ano yan, wala pang criminal offense, no? Na-fine yung broker, ay yung colorum. I think the fine there was ano lang mga around, I'm not mistaken, mga 40,000. So yun, no? Please, pag magpa-file, ano na, passes na, no? Hindi naman malaki yung mga attorney's fee namin ni Attorney Ifurong. Reasonable lang naman, no? And then minsan napapakiusapan pa kami. Okay? So thank you po.
Thank you very much, Attorney Lex. So maybe we can also request for a reaction from Mr. Rem Ramirez. And maybe, sir, baka pwedeng pa damay na rin dito yung sa IPO para
Okay.
at least masama na.
Oo. Mga kaibigan, the very purpose of issuing a license to real estate service practitioner is not to make commission. That is not the primary purpose. The primary purpose of the privilege, the state privilege given to us, the license that we are holding, the primary purpose is to protect the buyers. Protect the buyers. So laging pinag-uusapan niya, kaya nga natutuwa ako kasi ang pare, you're in the forefront pag kolorum ang pinag-uusapan. Kasi pag hawak nyo na yung lisensya, automatic po the moment hawak mo yung lisensya, papasok yung issue ng kolorum. So ito, tinatanong sa akin ni Director Bebot Cainong, tinatanong sa akin ng aking chapter president sa Baguio, ni Toti Tagle, paano natin uupakan itong kolorum? Ba? So sa sistema po, nung tinatawag natin at mababalidate naman ni Assistant Secretary at saka ng dalawang distinguished counsel na nandito sa table, nandito yung dilema ng paglaban ng kolorum. Okay? Under the criminal justice system, prosecution at saka korte. Okay? Now, dahil yung ating pong RESA is a criminal law. Criminal law. So talagang yung section 39 dadaan sa prosecutor. Prosecutor. So the violation of RESA will have to be handled by the prosecutor. But from the complaining broker na nautakan ng kolorum, paano siya magpapile ng kaso? Okay? So tatlo po ang sistema. Una, pupunta sa abogado kung meron siyang pambayad. Diba? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng tatrabahuhin ng abogado yung kanyang criminal complaint. Diba? Mali naman yun. Siya ang may problema, so siya dapat ang tumayo. Lalo na kung ang transaksyon ay multimilyon. Pangalawa, kung kulang ang kanyang pambayad, ang gagawin niya, maghahanap siya ng isang paralegal na gagawa ng kanyang criminal complaint. At pangatlo, tinatanggap naman ng criminal system kung marunong ka na mag-file ka ng complaint sa piskal. Diba? Kaya lang po, ito pong karapatan nato, hindi po minsan naiintindihan ng madlang broker. Kaya dito importante, mga kaibigan, ang parid. Dito importante ang mga organization na ipaliwanag sa kanila. Because kalimitan, sa sistemang usapan ng kolorum, takot ang lisensyado sa kolorum. Bakit? Kasi magastos. Kasi mahabang usapan. Kasi wala naman siyang suporta. Pero kung tatayo po ang PAREB, tatayo po ang PhilRes, tatayo ang REBAP, tatayo ang iba't ibang real estate association, at iisa ang tayo natin, may unified front na magtutulong-tulong tayo na tulungan yung complainant na ilapit kay attorney ng IDP President, ilapit sa magna cum laude na lawyer, kung hindi man ihanap sa PAREB ng isang magaling na paralegal. At kung hindi, talagang samahan na po natin sa piskal. Yun po ang sistema ng pagpapile against kolorum.
Ayan.
Yung po ang ginawa po namin.
Ayan, so maraming salamat. Wala bang palakpakan dyan? Ayan, ano. Ayan, so maybe we can ask si Attorney Ray. Attorney Ray, in your knowledge, meron na bang nakasuhan? Meron na bang nakulong? Kasi sabi, na-mention natin sa, sa mga RA 9646, 100,000 fine, 2 years imprisonment. May nasample na ba? Or in the words of Broker Rem, may naupakan na ba?
Alam ko meron na, no? Pero ang problem talaga kasi diyan, I remember one anecdote, no? Sabi nila, there ain't enough Christian lawyers to make the difference. So parang analogy, there ain't enough licensed brokers to make the difference. What does that mean? Kasi tayo, pag apektado tayo, kunyari, naloko ka ng non-licensed broker or non-licensed, hindi mo naman sasabing unlicensed broker, no? Ng unlicensed practitioner. Pag naloko ka, usually, that will be an expense on your part to engage the services of a lawyer. Kaya nga ang naiisip ko dito, to avoid yung financial expenses on the part of the practitioner or legal or the licensed broker, I propose na bawat members will contribute maybe 1 peso to a fund to finance complaints against unlicensed broker. In that manner, magiging professional po yung approach. It is not a complaint by one practitioner, but this licensed broker will refer this matter to his or her mother real estate board association para sila po yung magpo-process. So in that manner, meron pong financial support to sustain the complaint. So magiging impersonal na po 'yon. The licensed broker will just become a witness. Ang complainant talaga dito is the PAREB or the whatever real estate board that order is, no? So sa akin, importante na kasi pagdating sa lalapit sa yung yung real estate broker, hindi na babalik yun kasi siyempre there is a concomitant attorney's fees or legal expenses. So I think yun ang problem basically. Kaya ako wala pa ako naging kliyente na na broker na naloko kasi takot sila magbayad hindi sila takot magreklamo pero takot magbayad sa abogado. So ang mangyayari dapat niyan sa akin, let's not wait to be victimized, no? Let's not wait to be victimized. What we should do is ang dami pong violators dito sa Facebook na lang, TikTok, na whatever places. Kapitbahay nyo lang, bili kayo ng kondo. You will be met by unlicensed brokers, di ba? Ganun pa lang, it should be a board decision na mamimili yung board kung sino yung kakaso. Just to set an example to the public na we really mean business. So tapos we should publicize that we filed a case against a certain person for violation of the RESA law or whatever laws that was violated. So I think dapat talaga there must be a budget, no? To be allocated by PAREB or the member board para to give teeth to the RESA law. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Attorney Ray. So may we ask maybe the panelists, if meron ng, if you know of a certain violation or something na filean na of course without mentioning the name, baka mamaya kasi maano tayo ang tawag doon, maano tayo sa baka ma-probation or something. Pasensya na kasi lahat ng mga guests natin lawyer. Kami naman ni Rem, lover lang kami. Ayan, so yes, Mr. Rem.
Actually, maganda to kung nabantayan yung mabuti, yung ginawa ng NBI tsaka ng DSUD sa Cavite. Alam niyo naman yon, di ba? Nagkaroon ng in flagrante delicto arrest. ASEC. Merong isang developer na nag-conduct ng parang open house ata. Nagkataon na yung developer is in violation of PD 957. Pagkatapos doon sa kanyang event, ASEC, nandun yung broker na lisensyado na may kasamang color room na agents. So anong ginawa ng NBI? Minomonitor ko po to. Ang ginawa ng NBI, in flagrante delicto, inaresto, pareho. At ang huling balita, syempre, that's NBI yan, ito yung pinag-uusapan namin ni ASEC. ASEC, si NBI ata yung nag-file against Colorum. Kaya lang hindi na namin nasundan kung paano. Kasi sa ordinaryong krimen, sinapak ka nung kapitbahay mo. Pwede ka magsumbong sa pulis. At yung pulis, pwedeng in flagrante delicto yung kapitbahay mo na nanakit sa'yo. So kanina, natanong yung citizen's arrest, papasok pa dito. Hindi ko sasagutin yun. Bahala na po sila. Pero yung NBI case na yon, that is a live case. Pangalawa, kami naman po sa organization namin, ni Prestoti, meron kami sa Pampanga. May nama na kaming kaso. Ipinail sa prosecution, sa fiscal, lumusot. Yung sinasabi ng magna cum laude na lawyer na katabi ko rito, the prosecutor, they declared a probable cause for counts of violation of RESA. So, eventually, the prosecutor's office filed a criminal complaint for 4 counts of violation of RESA. So, ngayon po, nasa municipal trial court na siya. Now, kung ang tatanungin, ako, broker, am I interested dun sa adjudication na gagawin ng judge? The answer is no. I am not interested. Ang importante lang, meron tayong story na ikukwento sa lahat. Meron tayong story na ikukwento sa Colorum na tayong mga licensed broker, kaya pala natin lumaban. Bakit? Ang importante po rito, matakot sila. Bakit? Hindi naman natin sila kailangang upakan, hindi naman natin sila pwedeng dapat katayin because when we talk about contribution to gross domestic product, wag pong magagalit, mas malaki po ang contribution sa GDP ng mga Colorum kaysa sa mga licensed broker na katulad namin ni President Daphne. Bakit? Ang sisipag eh. Ang sisipag. So dalawa, yung kaliwa, kung ikaw ay hindi magtitino, papailan ka namin ng criminal complaint. Yung kanan, kung ikaw ay susunod, maglalatag ng programa ang lahat ng association. Naturuan po natin na maging qualified ang lahat ng Colorum.
Okay, so thank you very much. So naalala ko yung sinabi ni Mr. Rem, ako yung nasa YouTube yun yung NBI, parang may parang sting operation lumalabas. So search nyo na lang sa YouTube, parang keywords NBI, I believe sa may Tagaytay, yun ang nangyari doon eh. So hanapin nyo na lang yun. So minention din ni Rem kanina about yung sa anti-task force. So sometime 2022, si DHSUD headed yung National Task Force Against Illegal Real Estate Transactions. So together with that, kasama yung si PRC, DILG, PNP, LRA, NBI, DOJ. So I remember this clearly because rin ako doon, nag-host din ako doon sa event, doon sa signing event, yung kaya natatandaan ko. So maybe we can ask si ASEC Miko on ano yung mga next steps towards this one, doon sa nagawang task force on anti-illegal real estate transactions na kasama si DOJ, NBI, LRA, PNP, DILG, PRC, DSUD. And at the same time, Attorney Miko, ano ba yung kailangan nating steps na gagawin for us to create yung sinasabi mong office under the Department of Justice para sa ating mga real estate transactions? And hopefully baka mamaya pwede nang simulan natin sa office, later on magiging one-stop processing center, tapos dire-diretso na. Kasi yung New Bilibid Prisons yata under din sa DOJ, para pwedeng one-stop processing na. Yes, Attorney ASEC Miko.
So itong Joint Circular number 1, Series of 2021, ay pinirmahan ng lahat ng kalihim ng iba't ibang departamento noong July 2, 2021. Pero yung first and only meeting ay ginawa last year lang 2022 ng around April, no? At wala nang follow-up po dahil dun sa change of administration. Kaya timing na in-invite tayo ni sino po ba, yung mga organizers, dahil naungkat ko na yung joint circular, dahil just to let you know, yung transition phase hindi gaano kadali, no? Kailangan talaga i-turn over ng maayos. And yung naging representative ng DOJ dito sa ad hoc committee ay parang nagka-medical leave, no? So hindi na talaga nabuo yung task force. But at least now, dahil nandito tayo and I guess na parang na-bring to light, no? Nagkaroon ng discussion with the secretary kanina, medyo nabalik ulit sa focus ni secretary. So, the next step here, dahil nung kinausap ko siya, sabi ko, Soj, meron tayong event mamaya, magsasalita ako, ano yung gusto nyong iparating sa ating mga brokers? At yun nga sabi niya, katulad din sa iba't ibang mga professionals na kailangan ng lisensya, abogado, real estate brokers, and all the other licensed doctor, all that, gusto niyang gumawa ng isang undersecretary in charge dun sa mga professional licensed industries. In that sense, kagaya po ng sinabi ni Sir, no, na mas streamline na ngayon, lahat ng concerns pwede na natin ilapit doon sa undersecretary na yon, at lahat ng kailangan gawin, whether it be regulating yung mga unlicensed na nagpapanggap na professionals, yung sa investigation, request for prosecution, lahat yon isang tao na lang ang mag-handle noon. And ang difference kasi niyan, kung ad hoc committee, parang magbibigay ka ng responsibility sa bawat department or ahensya na kasali sa ad hoc committee. Kung meron tayong office na yung mandate talaga, yung mandato talaga niya ay i-protect yung licensed professionals, siya na mismo ang siguro maging proactive dun sa pag-coordinate ng iba't ibang ehensya. Mahirap po kasi yung iba't ibang ehensya, iba't ibang departamento, ang daming trabaho, tapos mag-meet lang every month or every 2 months, every 3 months, tapos doon na nila pag-usapan yung mga problema, mga concerns, no? Mas maganda na dedicated ang isang office doon sa mga concerns na yon. At alam na rin natin kung kanino tayo lalapit, no? And it will become the sole purpose of that office to help mga licensed professionals natin sa Pilipinas. So I hope na welcome development ito sa inyo, dahil ito ay syempre sa tingin ni Secretary ay isang importanteng hakbang para ma-prevent na natin or mahuli na natin yung mga kolorum.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes, sir.
meron lang akong tanong. Lahat po ba dito licensed real estate broker? Please raise your hand. May kilala po ba kayong unlicensed practitioner? Raise your hand po. Nagreklamo po ba kayo? Di ba? Ito ang tanong eh. Yun ang sinasabi ko po, na ang dami yung kilalang unlicensed broker pero wala akong nakitang parang ang dami na dapat reklamo, di ba? Yun lang po yung na parang ewan ko kung bakit. So maybe you should report that to your motherboard to complain about unlicensed practitioners, no? So yun lang, it's a little bit disheartening kasi alam natin na it's a violation but then we're not doing something about it. Yun lang po.
Ayan, so thank you very much, Attorney Ray. So actually may mga question dito na yung mga ano ba ang pwede natin gawin, paano ba natin susumbong. So yun na nga, sabi nga ni Attorney Ray, madaling magsumbong. Problema yung follow-up, wala eh. Parang akala yata nung iba, papadala lang ako ng email, tapos na. Parang one stop na gano'n. No? So kailangan may follow-up pa. Okay, so we will be entertaining some questions na live na nandito kasi may mga na ibigay sa atin na mga questions. So rules lang for those na mag-a-ask ng question, kindly mention your name, mention your board, and kindly limit your question to one question lang, and sana wala nang follow-up para to give chance to others. So, one question lang, walang follow-up, tapos para susunod makapagtanong na. Okay, so meron po tayong dalawang microphones yan. Meron na, no? Meron na? Okay, so meron na tayong nauna na. Yan, ma'am, name po, board, tsaka your one question.
Isang tanong, isang sagot. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Matagal na nating issue yan eh.
Ma'am, name po, name tsaka board.
I'm Elizabeth A. Cepeda from Plareb. Bawat big conference, convention, yan ang palaging issue. We want to know from the officers and from the group, Nandisud, AMLA, whatever, paano ipoprosecute yung mga ganong klaseng. Ako marami akong gustong ireklamo eh. Nakikita naman sa Facebook eh. Nagne-network pa nga mga ankolorum dun eh. Mga kolorum pala. So we want to know from the officers, from the local, from our government agencies, anong proseso ang susundan ng broker from paano magko-complain o kaya merong grupo na pwede naming puntahan na susuportahan tayo. Kasi sinasabi parang pag may reklamo ka, ikaw mag-file, bahala ka sa gastos mo. And nandito tayo sa association na gusto naming makarinig ng solusyon sa matagal ng problema. Paano natin to lalabanan ng hindi nag-iisa as a group para meron tayong resulta. Yun lamang po kasi ang naririnig ko parang individual application eh. Eh syempre pag na-single out yan, yung mga yan, hanap buhay yan, talagang papatayan mga yan eh. So we want to file it as a group. Sana makapag-formulate po tayo kasi tayo tinatakot na mga kolorum eh. Tayo lisensyado, lalo na sa AMLA, parang sinasakal na ang broker sa mga compliance natin. Eh yung mga malalaking deposito sa bangko, kung hindi nila i-register na broker sila, malaya silang nakakapag-hanap buhay na walang tax, walang regulation. Di ba? Kawawa ang broker. Di ba? Hindi, kasi sinasabi daw pwedeng pumirma ang broker sa BIR kasi meron tayong tax agency accreditation, tax agent accreditation sa BIR. We can lobby that na include ang broker except sa mga CPAs at mga lawyers. Baka pwede tayo doon pumasok, yung mga licensed broker to sign a document as tax agent. Yun po yun.
Ma'am, what is your question, ma'am? What is your one question?
Ang question ko, meron ba tayong concrete plan? Paano natin lalabanan to? Yung kumbaga, meron tayong pupuntahan ng broker kung may reklamo ako. Hindi pwedeng, kaya ka nga miyembro ng association eh. Anong suporta ng association?
Okay, ma'am.
Ano bang pwede nating magawa? Kasi ang tagal na nito, kahul lang tayo ng kahul, walang nangyayari.
Noted, ma'am. Ma'am, si Cons Joel may have a answer?
Okay. Just permission to butt in po, ano? Just for the information of everybody, nagpaalam po kami sa mga speaker panelists kung pwedeng i-record. And as we understand na they allowed us to record this thing para ang purpose po natin ay ma-disseminate ito sa public, ma-aware ang public. So this is very important. Hindi lang po ito natatapos dito and pumayag po sila. Tama po ba mga Mr. Panelists? Okay po. And ipapaalam lang po namin sa magtatanong sa magiging participants dito that we will be asking permission from you na ito din po ay for the record, ipapublish po natin sa general public. So salamat po.
Magandang hapon po. Marcelino Pompa, past president po ako ng Parañaque, Las Piñas, Alabang Real Estate Board and charter president of Las Piñas City Real Estate Board. Kami po ang nag-umpisa ng RESA. Kami yung nag-draft sa Plareb. Kung pupuntahan nyo po yung original na bill na ipinail sa Congress, kasama po sa provision na the real estate broker must affix his signature in all documents, especially the deed of sale. Ayun po, at kailangan i-honor po yun ng BIR at ng Register of Deeds before their process i-transfer. Apparently, yung provision po yun, hindi nakalusot sa Congress, sa House of Representatives, sa Senate. Ayun. Kaya kung pwede, simple lang po ang solusyon. Ilagay po sana natin yon, magkaroon ng amendment sa RESA para simple na, hindi na ma-attract ang mga kolorum. Di mo ba? Kolorum nga. Halimbawa, kapitbahay ko, kumari ko. Pwede ko bang reklamo yun? Siyempre, tahimik lang ako. Kumari na lang, hindi ko alam na nag-broker siya. Yun po. So, ayun po. Ngayon, yung AMLA, sana po huwag kaming tingnan kriminal. Ang tingin po sa amin, kriminal eh. Pwede namang makontrol ng AMLA through the bank. Na lahat ng transaction in real estate must be in cash. Kaya hindi dapat i-process ng BIR at ng RD yung cash transaction. Everything should be in cash, through the banks. Yun lamang po. Salamat.
Thank you very much, sir.
Isang maganda at mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. Dalmasio Tapia Cumia, nickname Dami, D-A-M-M-Y, kapag legal transaction ang nickname ko. Kapag illegal, D-U-M-M-Y. Ako po ay past president ng Calamba Laguna Real Estate Board. Presently, I am the regional chairman of South Luzon Task Force Anti-Colorum. As member of Task Force, I am ready to die. Meaning, I'm ready to disseminate, inform, and educate the public para sila ay malegalize o maging legitimate real estate practitioners. Ngayon po, ang akin pong appeal sa amin pong paglibot dito sa ating lugar, marami pong nakikita o nalalaman na mga developer yung gayat-gayat. Rizal, Cavite, Laguna o any part of Luzon. Ngayon po, ang aking appeal, kasi po kung gagawin natin parang cancer na yan. So, anong possible solution? Ang isang ko po, bilang opinion, ay makagawa o to amend the law na itong ganitong mga developer ay mabigyan o magkuha ng batas kasi depende sa capability at capacity to pay ng mga kliyente. Kasi yung house in lot, 520,000 ang price. Ngayon, according to this suit, 40% of that 520 is intended for lot only. Ang kulang po ay yung batas na itong mga developer nito ay makakuha ng development permit at the same time yung license to sell na hindi na sila magbabiolate kasi ayon sa nasa kakalap na impormasyon based on our information dissemination campaign, involved din po ang mga government officials at sila po naghahawak. Kaya minsan, yung nagbebenta ay mga illegal real estate practitioners. So yun po ang aking isang appeal. Ito ay magawa ng batas para itong mga ito ay maging legal at kukuha talaga ng development permit at the same time ng license to sell so we can encourage them to be legal real estate developer and practitioners. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat. Ayan. Ang ating next surname po and board po.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ako po si Rolando Dantes. Membro po ako ng PLAREB, isang board officer ngayon. Ang akin lang pong napuna sa RESA-Law. Ang aking napuna po sa RESA-Law ay medyo mahina ang implementasyon. Bakit po? Kasi naglabas po ng batas ang yung tinatawag na RESA-Law at ang implementing rules and regulation. Ang question po, sabi ni PRC, sabi ng mga Senate o ng Kongreso, RESA-Law tayo. No? Pero hindi naman didiktahan yung BIR. Hindi didiktahan yung sa RDO, sa RD at saka sa Treasury para implement yung o katulad po ng nakaraang ilang linggo po, nakipag-usap po ako o kami sa isang RDO. Sinasabi ka na niya ay magtutulungan. Pero ang problema, pwede nila sabihin, pero alam mo, sabi niya, dito pagka pera hawak, hindi na tinatanong. Kasi kailangan namin ng pera. Diba? So yun, doon pala sa implementasyon, problema na. Alam naman kami magsusumbong. Mas matatapang pa sa amin yung mga hindi license. O paano ngayon? Ako, personal experience ko po. Dahil ako po ay lalaka tuon sa Roland. So malalaking lupain sa probinsya. Sabi ng governor, kasama ako dyan ha. Sabi ni Mayor, kasama ako dyan. Anong gagawin mo?
Okay, so thank you very much, sir. Sir, due to the time constraints lang and medyo may mga previous engagements pa yung ating speakers, may we get parang mga final word lang muna kay Asek Miko. Kahit si Asek Miko lang muna kasi mayroon lang siyang important engagement. And then after ni Asek Miko, itutuloy po natin muna. Asek Miko?
Sorry po, no? Tinatawagan na po ako sa office, pero gusto ko lang din sabihin na dahil po tayo ay in trust dito sa position na ito na maging alternative representative sa ating National Task Force, ay bukas po ang aming pintuan sa DOJ para makinig. Kagaya nito po, ay very insightful po. Marami po tayong natutunan at sana po sa aming mga discussion din in the future, mas marami po pa po kaming matutunan dito sa real estate industry, sa mga problema, mga concerns, para magawa ng paraan. Ako po, hindi po tayo matagal pa sa gobyerno, bata pa po tayo. Marami po tayong solusyon na digital at technological solutions na pwede nating i-apply dito sa real estate industry. So we're very willing to open our eyes and ears to the concerns of PAREB as well as the brokers. So maraming salamat po sa opportunity na ito na siguro mas nabukas pa yung mata natin at yung I guess perspective natin dito sa mga concerns niyo. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you very much and maraming salamat Asek Miko. Maybe we can call representatives from PAREB to give the certificate and trophy from for Asek Miko.
Okay. Okay, so sorry, we have time constraint and si Asek po has another appointment. So we would like to express our appreciation to all our participants at today's panel discussion. Kindly remain on stage as we call our directors, MLS and Anti-Colorum Director and Chairperson, and our Madam President, Ms. Daphne Beresiarte, to give our plaques of appreciation and tokens. Ma'am President. Yes, Asek. Allow me to read. Philippine Association of Real Estate Boards, Inc. presents this plaque of appreciation to Attorney Jose Dominic F. Clavano IV, DOJ Assistant Secretary, in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation for being a resource speaker and a panelist during the PAREB MLS and Task Force Anti-Colorum Summit 2023, given this 12th day of September 2023 at the Valle Verde Country Club, Pasig City. Signed by Ms. Mary Daphne Beresiarte, National President, Rene J. Castillo, Vice President for NCR and Director in Charge for MLS, Jovencio Cainong, National Director, Director in Charge for Task Force Action Group, Anti-Colorum Action Group, Cynthia Flor S. Medina, Chairman for MLS, Joel Jalimao, Chairman for TF-ACAG, attested by Enrique Santos, Secretary General. Okay. Next.